Welcome, guys, to the MMOs.com podcast. This is episode 91, a special love edition, and this is Altai, joined by
Omer,
Gumball,
Matt.
All right, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, and as Aaron mentioned, today is the special Valentine's Day episode of the MMOs.com podcast. We're all going to get together and talk about love, and with that, Gumby, take it away with the themed weekly raid. Forgot what it was called for a second.
This week's weekly raid, we're not asking a question because I don't know how. We are going to talk about romance and MMOs. Not just what you saw that you shouldn't have in Second Life, but also weird or maybe loving romantic encounters between real people in games. I remember quite vividly how a friend of mine, MMO or not, used to flirt with the only girl in my Counter-Strike 1.6 server, and boy, was that cringy. There was also, back in the day, if you played Vanilla WoW, there was at least one server that rated an in-game wedding, and in-game weddings are pretty popular to MMORPGs. It's one of the few genres, besides Touch Online, that really tries to go the extra mile by incorporating romantic interactions, including Ragnarok Online, which had a wedding system where you could actually get married and then pop out a little kid, which I always found kind of odd. But so we want to hear your stories. I want to hear the roundtable stories. It doesn't have to be something that happened to you personally, but just anecdotes about love and loss in MMORPGs.
All right, so I don't have anything specifically for MMORPGs. I've run into a lot of married couples in MMORPGs, but like not a whole lot that like had to do with romance at all. But I do have one about a shooter, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Take it away.
All right, so back in like high school, I had this friend, and we were playing Halo 3 the one day, and we hadn't disabled the voice chat or anything, so it's just there. We didn't have any mics plugged in, and all of a sudden he hears this girl talking. So what he decides to do is plug in the mic and start trying to chat her up through a game of Halo 3. And as he's doing this, the girl is sitting there like, I'm a 400-pound Mexican woman sitting on a rug the whole time, just repeating it over and over, trying to get him to shut up. It's pretty funny.
You might be into that though.
Yeah, he's got to be careful.
I have a love story for MMORPG. All right, specific to MMORPG. All right, back in the days of Vanilla WoW. All right. First of all, I want to preface this with I think everyone's had some kind of MMO love story, whether it's RuneScape, want to buy a girlfriend, you get that virtual e-girlfriend thing going. All right, everyone's done it. Come on, just be open with it. So there was this girl. I think she was a girl. Well, that was actually later confirmed, and her name was Athena on World of Warcraft. All right, this is Vanilla WoW back in the day, and there were some red flags. All right, and then we used to raid together. She was in my guild actually, but she was really bad at raiding them. But I kind of let that go because she was a girl, right? Whatever. Horny me is just thinking like, oh my god, girl, or whatever. So she starts, messaging. She wants to add me on Messenger and shit. At first, red flag number one, she uses MSN Messenger. Who the fuck uses MSN Messenger? That should have been a signal right there. There's something wrong with her, right? Whatever. I had her on MSN Messenger. We start raiding. We start doing Scholar Mans and 4-mans, and we always fucking wipe. Always. And she's awful. It's always her fault. Always. And she sent me a picture eventually, and she wasn't very good looking. And at that moment, I just stopped responding. After she sent me a picture.
Oh,
which is,
no.
I guess, which is kind of rude, but after I saw the picture, I was done. Right? It was okay when we had the imagination. She was a night elf, in the game she was hot. But when you get the picture, and then you're like,
It's a letdown.
It's a letdown. All right. Her name was either Clarissa or Krissa, one of those. I forgot which one. But if you're out there, Athena from World of Warcraft, 10 years ago, hi.
So remember, guys, the moral of the story: you can be bad at games as long as you're hot. Okay.
Yes. There you go.
But if you're gonna have to raid like the rest of us guys if you're ugly.
You gotta perform if you're. Oh, listen. If she wasn't hot, whatever, if she made up for that with in-game skill, that's different. All right. You can't have you can't suck at the game and not have the charm. All right, the looks. All right, you gotta win in one department. All right, you gotta win in one department.
It's either strength or intelligence, if or charisma. Okay.
Yes.
You can't have bad stats on everything.
Yeah. And come on, I guarantee some other people have this kind of story. Anybody else in the panel have a story like this?
I'm actually the. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm like the opposite of that story, where I played the girl character and always said I don't have a mic when we raided. And that was my
Smart-
excuse. That
smart
was my
move.
excuse to pay as little attention and do as badly as possible on the raid. So I would have the raid going, and I'd be playing PS3 on my shoulder here, like some PS3 RPG, while doing raiding and WoW. And then I'd always be like, Miri, can you please, you let this guy die. Can you please try harder next time? I'm like, oh, I got this, no problem. Like, they're like, can you please get on, raid call or whatever? I'm like, I can get in, but I can't talk. I still have to hear the commands. But they all thought it was a girl, basically. So I got nice loot. Everyone helped me. I never had to prep for the raids. Like, I never had to bring my ingredients for the potions. The people
You never
did.
had to perform either. People expected less of you.
Yeah.
We're really imparting moral lessons and virtues in this weekly raid.
Actually, Erhan would play the girl role like really well. Actually, he did like a long con in Ultima Online when we came back to the game a while like later. And the only reason we played like after we quit in like 2005, 6 was to like get money in game to sell it on eBay and just vendor the gold. So he actually befriended some like dude, right, who was like married. Aaron was talking to the guy for like a good week. Aaron befriended this guy. This was like kind of flirty with him, even though the guy was fucking married, like IRL. And like after like a week, he gives him like access to his house, right? And Aaron takes everything. He took the fucking like the most useless stuff too. Like the guy logs back in, everything is missing from his house. Literally everything. We just sold it all.
I mean, the best part of that story, we sold the stuff on eBay for hundreds of dollars, like almost $1,000.
Yes, real money.
Yeah,
real money.
real dollar. Okay. And as I'm kind of like hinting at access to the house, the wife's character is right there. And she's like, I don't know about this, honey. You just met her. Like, what are you doing? And then the guy, I'm just like, shit, the wife's here. Like, I gotta get rid of the wife. I'm like, let's go.
Go add the party and talking party chat only.
So I we go to like a room with like a different room in the house, right? And you can't see the chat if the wife's character is outside because she was like doing something else. So I got him isolated. I sweet talk him some more. They go to bed after I'm friended. Boom, everything's gone.
Takes everything. Look, in hindsight, it's kind of a douchebag move, but it's still hilarious, right? It's like you just lost all your in-game items because you trust this random new person that you like flirted with you. Come on, where's your common sense, man?
Yeah, I taught him a lesson. All right, he learned a lesson from me.
Mm-hmm.
I either ruined that marriage or made it stronger. Okay, one of those two.
Oh boy, I was just thinking that, but I wasn't gonna say it. Like they actually got a divorce, and they brought up the chat logs in court. The lawyer's reading it. Look what you did. All because of Erhan.
Like some of like the silly taking advantage of people's stories aside, I do actually like a lot of the romantic elements in MMORPGs. Like not like literally the romance, but like the emotes and stuff and the in-game weddings. Like if you've been to an FF14 wedding, it's a fun experience. Look, you got to do it once, all right, in your MMO career. It's like this choreographed thing. They give out their vows. There's like these scenes that they're throwing flowers. You get to meet in the reception. You get to talk with all these random people. Like it's an experience. It's a fun thing to do. All right, even if you're not the one getting married, you're just watching people do their thing, and it's fun. All right, I recommend it. It's a fun experience, and things like that kind of bring the community together. I mean, I think a lot of people do get married in these games, like not super seriously. But then there are those people that do it super seriously. There are couples in real life that also get married in game, and it creates a interesting atmosphere. And it's something I don't think you can capture in any other genre of games besides MMOs.
No, I think you're right. Except for Touch Online. That's the only other one.
Well, there are the
Also
dancing
married
games.
couples. Dancing games always have married couples as well for whatever reason. Yeah, I never participate myself, but I don't mind seeing it. I'm not the kind of person to marry another person's character or anything, but yeah, it's fun. And you're right, it does add a level of immersion, and it's kind of, it is this whole event. I always think of the spontaneous weddings where it's not actually part of the game, but vanilla WoW, where people are so motivated to do it, and then it gets rated, which is always funny to me. But yeah, it's weddings, just like in real life in the game, are a communal event. Go get married.
Yeah, you want to say it more? The UO story with the raid?
No, but before we get to you go take the UO story. Then
I know we mentioned it before, but it is Valentine's. It's worth repeating. So Ultima Online didn't have a specific marriage system, but people would just roleplay it out. You'd have the seats in the house, like a big house on a roof. You'd have seats. Guests would sit. They'd wear their formal dresses. The main couple would wear white and black, and just BS for half an hour. So they were porting people in, like their friends from town, for this wedding, into their house. So Omar and I and a few other people, like PKs, PvPers, we snuck into the portal, and once you go inside, you can actually hide where you turn invisible. So we're all invisible, watching this marriage happen, and we're waiting for our time, right? And, you know, these are like 40-year-olds probably because they're doing this RP wedding nonsense. So they type slow and they can't really react fast. So we wait till they're typing, and then we just run in. We just start bashing heads. We're killing the groom. We're killing the bride.
Dropping the poison fields, the fire fields, the meteor swarm.
Yeah, you can summon demons.
Everyone.
Oh, we ruined their day.
The bloody wedding.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we gotta keep this more upbeat, all right? Enough scumbagging people on Valentine's Day. All right, let's talk positive. Here's a positive video of me performing my mating ritual in 5th Street. All right.
All right, let's see.
Okay, good. We do need to keep the positivity up, but you did say romance and tragedy, right? So
yes. See, yeah, we did have tragedy. Yes, all the Ultima Online stories were tragic. Here we are trying to mate with the person in game by falling on them. This is the Remo method of.
Oh, I remember that.
Maybe did you invent planking? as a sexual act?
This is I find this game hilarious. All right, listen. If you've never played 5th Street before, and you don't mind these like social like dancing games, like Dance Online and stuff, the emotes in 5th Street are hilarious. So I was like chatting with her while doing it, right? And I like for like 5 minutes beforehand, I was like, listen, you got to do this, all right? You got to also do this plank move and do it like on top of me, and we got to spam it together. And like towards this part of the video, she actually ends up doing it, all right? It's a fucking victory. We made her do it. This is how we court the girls, all right? This is how we court them.
You know what always surprised me? You know what always surprised me? Like, we all have friends that chat up the random girl in a game, and then they respond. The girl responds, they send pictures, yada yada, and MSN, nude pics. It's always surprising, but obviously the girls are probably just as horny anyway. So I don't know why it surprised young us with that shit.
What? Wow, you certainly jumped.
No,
you jumped.
They must want it. They must want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So many stories of guys like, hey, I got this girl to like show me her, like boobs or whatever on MSN. Like it happens because I guess they want to play along,
Yeah, of course. It doesn't happen otherwise.
Yeah.
It's all part of role playing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, guys, if you're joining us, today is also a singles day, obviously, because it is Valentine's Day. If you're watching, you're probably single, maybe. Here's the thing. I got a pro tip for you guys. This just came to me today. It's genius. Ready? If you want to feel loved, here's what you got to do. All right, you go on Amazon, you order yourself chocolates, all right, and you send it as a gift to yourself. But you don't do it today. What you do is you order it for February on Valentine's Day next year. So next year on Valentine's Day, you would have sent yourself a gift from today, and it would have been so long that you're gonna forget about it. And you even put like a little message saying like, "Oh my God, I love you, your secret admirer." All right, you put a silly message down. Ideally, you're drunk before you do this too. That way you forget even more. But if you do it a year in advance, you're not gonna remember. But you'll get the chocolates, you'll read the message, it'll be a gift. You'll feel good about yourself.
You'll basically troll yourself.
Yes.
But it's not really trolling because it's nice.
It's nice.
Singles Day is an actual holiday. I don't mean to take us off topic, but it is a holiday stream, so I think we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Singles Day is a Chinese holiday on November 11th.
Oh, so you got 1-1-1-1. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, I never knew that. I never knew that.
Yeah, but
Learn
then
something
that's
new
3
every day.
months. That's 3. But anyway, this is also a normal podcast. We will keep the romance up as we keep the stream going, the video going. But
all right, I want to take the first one to a fun romance story, and then we'll get to some more serious stuff.
Okay.
This blew me away. All right, pun intended, obviously. All right, first let me make sure it's safe for work and safe for podcast. It was last time I checked. But we got to make sure. There is a new crowdfunding website. All right, and I think we can share this. Yes.
Oh no! I don't know about that.
It is called Kimochi.
Oh no!
All right, it is for adult. It's for adult games.
So
all right.
Can I click this?
Yes, but don't scroll too much down. You'll be fine. Actually, no. All the thumbnails are safe. All the thumbnails are safe. You can scroll down. All right. Everything's fine. But I love the name. All right, Kimochi.
Just don't click into anything, Aaron.
Yeah, don't click into anything. These are for like dating sims, visual novels, like basically anime-inspired, cartoony games that are being crowdfunded, or rather, red funded. I think that might be the term they're using. But what a great name!
Oh my God. Oh, so here's actually a really useful site. If you are single and you want to stay that way, just peruse this website.
Are you sure this is safe for Twitch?
I'm not seeing anything inappropriate on the.
I'm getting out of there.
We will certainly find out soon.
Don't scroll down. Don't scroll down there. Get out of there. Get out of there.
Some of these games, by the way, have raised I mean, they're not raising big money, but there's 3 here that have raised over $2,000.
Oh my god.
Did you
I think
guys
it's a
see that
pretty
one of the
nice
ones
idea.
in the top row was a clicker?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good
I
idea.
love
No, not really.
The more
Yes,
you click, the more
crowdfund my
money-
clicker.
Oh,
Crowdfund my clicker game. You know, the most minimal effort of all types of games. Just crowdfund it, please.
boys, Matt, I think you just solved our problem. I think we know what we're kickstarting. A clicker
Yes.
game.
The MMOs.com clicker game, boys. It's gonna happen. We're gonna kickstart it. We're gonna make the moolah.
You're clicking, but you're actually just clicking advertisements. But you get a penny every time.
There's Yuri Clicker. I like that name.
Ooh.
It's about cute girls doing cute things, like beating up
certainly
people.
relevant. Certainly relevant to Romance Day, Valentine's Day, Hallmark Day. Sorry, I don't know.
I think I might stream some some 5 Street later to celebrate Valentine's Day. That is the game for Valentine's Day. Any of these romantic dancing games are always fun. It's a really silly experience. I do recommend playing them just to F around, and I don't think you can play them too long, but it's a good, like, it'll kill an hour of your time messing with the emotes, talking to people, having fun. But,
I gotta get off this fucking site.
All right,
I got out of there a while back.
All right, let's jump to something serious business. All right,
We're taking it in a 180.
we're taking it in a 180. We're going to serious
I mean,
business.
this got to be the time to talk about Metal Gear Solid parody, or is that not allowed?
I think we can talk about that, can't we?
Mm,
You said serious business.
all right,
Fine,
fine,
serious
fine,
business.
fine.
We'll come back to it later.
Post
Serious
game. That'll be
time.
post game.
All right, we got some big news from Steam. I think Matt put it up, so you want to take that? About Steam Direct?
Oh yeah, so Valve is discontinuing Greenlight. It's basically what they said is that they're evolving as a company, but what I think is that they're full of shit and they just didn't know what they were doing when they made Greenlight. But anyways, they're replacing it with something called Steam Direct, which is basically just going to be you fill out some forms, you pay a certain fee that we don't know about yet. We don't know what it's going to be per game though. And once you've done that, you just get your game on Steam. And the details of this are a little foggy. They don't have anything. And what a lot of people have said is, so originally they had posted that developers had said they thought they could charge anywhere from $100 to $5,000. And what they were trying to say is that that's the feedback they got. But the way they wrote it, everybody was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to pay $5,000 per game. This is going to kill my business.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't actually know that. But the important part right now is that what they're doing is they're officially going to set a barrier, because what they want to do, they specifically said they want to, as they put it, reduce the noise. So they're putting in a barrier intentionally to keep out games that I'm assuming, I don't know how they view games like Shower with Your Dad Simulator, considering it may have sold decently.
Amazing.
Solid. The real thing's better, though. Continue.
But I think it's games like that they want to keep out. Or, alternatively, they want to keep out games that don't get finished in early access.
Mhm.
So they're putting up barriers. And the barrier that they eventually put up later this spring is going to determine the type of store that they really want. Like, we are finally going to see what Steam wants out of their store, not just what the people want out of it.
I got an interesting perspective on that. If you know, I read a few of the things they said, and one of the reasons they say they're doing this is they don't want to curate. Basically, they want anyone who puts up that, you know. And also, the way the fee is going to work is this is not Steam trying to make money from this listing fee. The listing fee is going to go to charity, and it's going to be refundable if you want to take it back. So they're just doing this as a barrier, not as a profit. Like,
I think you're
revenue.
looking at the Greenlight thing. You're allowed to refund the Greenlight fee if you didn't get anything Greenlit.
I think this is money for them.
No, they're making money. Off
They're
this.
making
This
money.
new fee isn't going to charity.
Oh, okay. So that's the way it used to work.
Your Greenlight was going to charity, yes, and that was a $100 fee. The new one is not going to charity. It's money for them.
All right,
And
so,
now, as a show of good faith, even if you if you paid for Greenlight's fee the moment that it came out, if they didn't get anything greenlit, like nothing got through, you can refund it. That's what you're thinking about.
okay. So do you think they're gonna take this fee and keep it? You think? Have they said that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I don't know if
They didn't say it, but 100% sure.
Well, they didn't say you can't be 100% sure, technically. But they probably will. If they ask you up to $5,000, it's going to be a money generator for them, and kind of pay for the service, because they are going to verify various documents as well. They want digital documents for your company, your game, your progress. Like they want some other stuff too, not just the fee. It's not you pay the fee, boom, you're in. You pay the fee, you submit your documents, and then I guess they're going to get you into Steam then.
Also, they did. Well, I think this part is true. They talked about their dominance in PC markets, right? And they said they didn't want to be the curator where they decide what gets in, what doesn't, right? Because it could make or break a game. So they didn't want to be the ones curating. But I think it kind of shows like a lack of responsibility. I mean, if you're the dominant force, it's a responsibility to curate, to keep the trash out. It's not a matter of picking and choosing.
The best way to curate and the best way to keep the trash out is to have a high barrier to entry, because the moment you say no to a game, right? I mean, from Valve's perspective, the developer's like, why'd you say no to my game? I mean, even if it's a piece of shit game, they'll be like, no, we got this, it's a great game. And Valve doesn't want to explain to everybody why they're saying no.
So then what do you think
is that barrier?
What do you guys think the fee should be? I know none of us know, but from your opinion.
If Valve asked you what it should be, what would you say?
I say 5,000. I say the high end of that.
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and say 5,000. If you have something that's proven to work and you can attract outside investors, I would say that, and they believe in your product, they'll upfront that cost because they'll make the money back. So
I don't think you need outside investor for $5,000.
Well, it depends.
Let's
think about what you see on Steam. There's tons of projects that have been on Steam that are by a single person who's made a project. They somehow got past Greenlight because Greenlight failed, obviously, and now their game is up on Steam. I think when they say noise, that's what they're talking about. I don't think they're talking about studio created projects. They're talking about something that some guy makes in his spare time and throws up, and it's not even complete.
All right, what's your number? You say 5,000 as well, Gumby?
Sure, I'll say 5,000.
I say well. I'll go quite a bit lower. I'm gonna say 2,000. I feel that's the sweet spot.
Okay.
I was gonna say 1,000 to 1,500 is the sweet spot. That's what I think.
But I think it is obviously difficult for indie developers. Much bigger hurdle for indie developers than like established studios and people with money. Like it makes it hard to get onto Steam. But there's enormous benefits to that too. It keeps a lot of the rabble out. The higher that is. And I don't think stuff like a lot of people are going to say, oh, if it's anything more than 100, it's stupid because, indie developers can't afford it. But like, it means either you're serious about your game or you're not. Okay. If you can't pony up $1,500 to $2,000 and show that you really care about your game and then you're willing to work, just work somewhere else for like a couple days, a couple weeks and get the money, if you have to. Like that shows your dedication and that you're serious and that you're willing to risk that money for it. If you're not willing to risk $2,000 on a project that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, you clearly are not confident or care about your game. So I think anyone, if it was like 20,000, 50,000, yeah, I agree. That might be insurmountable for indie developers. But as is, these numbers, whether it's 1,500, whether it's 2,000, it's perfectly doable. Even at 5,000, it's a little bit harder, but I think it's still doable. And I think we'll still get a lot of quality games. And it's not really going to hurt too many of the indie developers.
We have to remember too, Steam isn't the only place that people play games, right? There was I can't remember the name of it now, but there was another Steam-like program that existed a while back for indie titles, and eventually a title would be completed. That's where Project Zomboid started, and then it ends up on.
Are you talking about Desura? Desura, they made like no money. There were.
I'm just saying. I'm only talking about it in the abstract. That
there are other avenues to publish games.
If Steam stops being a place where everyone can publish their games, you'll see alternatives pop up. And if your game is good enough, if it attracts enough attention, then you get to Steam, and then Steam becomes an achievement that it gives a sense of quality to your product, just like it used to. And I think that's what I would like to see is Steam as a whole.
I like your point a lot. I feel like you should share that.
Oh.
You typed it out.
Okay, on forums like Reddit, you have a younger audience, right? Which is not their fault. They're just young. They don't work yet. Yada yada. And my point is, a lot of people are saying, well, you can't, you won't be able to get your game on Steam. A one-man show can't get his game on Steam. I don't know what world you guys live in, but most people, I mean, in your room, in your circle of friends, you have things worth cumulatively $2,000. You can scrounge that money. Sell your monitor, sell your old computer, ask some friends and family. Work somewhere for 6 months maybe. Save. Like it's not 2,000 is not like a insurmountable barrier. I'm just surprised at the lashback I've seen, at least on the forums I go to, which probably says more about me than anything else. But there's a lot of forums where young people, like I'm assuming they're young or just don't know about money. They think 2,000 is some kind of it might as well be $2 billion to them, right? $2,000. So
it's a lot of money, but I agree. I mean, I like your point. Your absurd point.
It's not a lot of money because look, people in Africa, they actually pay $10,000 or more to get smuggled to Europe, right? Those refugees coming, they're paying $10,000 or more dollars. And if these people who make like $1 a day can with friends and family save up $10,000 to get one guy across, there's no reason to think a developer in America can't by himself and with his friends and family get together $2,000, $5,000.
Put on the credit card. You can borrow it anyway. If you need to.
Exactly.
Stop crowdfunding games on Nutaku's Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, I am pretty much the same philosophy. You can do it. This is not insurmountable. People that are going crazy over even a $2,000, even a $5,000 fee, like it's gonna make the Steam marketplace better. I think. I mean, having for a lot of people, seeing the shit games kind of turns them off from Steam. So knowing that you're not going to see any at least if you see a game and let's say the price point's $5,000, you're like, holy shit, that guy spent $5,000 to get this game on Steam. Like, I might want to buy it then. It's like I have a guarantee it's not going to be like unplayable like Digital Homicide crap.
We're gonna start seeing Kickstarter.
For Steam.
It's gonna start getting factored into the cost. Oh, we need $5,000 too, guys. On Steam, just so you know.
Oh, you're right.
It's gonna get factored in. You'll still. I mean, all right. So here's the thing. This might minimize the noise, quote unquote, whatever. But will it be enough? Is this a solution? We just BS about this. Is this actually gonna help fix the issues with Steam's library? Next year, if this system is in place, say 2018, will we finally see that statistic drop where 80% of games were released in the last year?
Yeah,
I think it'll help a lot.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'll lower it. Yeah. Will it be enough by itself? No. I think they're gonna have to do manual curation at some point.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't think Steam is ever gonna manually curate. They will do everything they can to not.
They don't want
do
to.
it.
It's too much work for them. I mean,
They don't want to dedicate people to it, basically.
Yeah.
Right. They're not gonna pay somebody just because that's what their job would be, sitting there all
Well,
day.
then they're
That's
gonna
what
get
it
rid-
was.
they're
That's
gonna
why that's why the games got on Steam so slowly, because they didn't want to divert a specific people for it, so it was just whoever was working there had to do it.
But Steam's lazy. I mean, they're gonna get replaced by someone then who's more dedicated to this process.
They've been lazy for a long time,
Yes.
and they
Yeah, it has to
still
happen,
haven't been replaced. I mean, people don't realize it because they don't think about it because their program just works. It downloads their things for them. But Steam is really, really lazy. Like the people working at Steam instead of just at Valve in general, they're very, very lazy.
I don't want to say they're lazy. I think it's because they're very understaffed. Okay, I mean, gaming
They're
talks
not
a lot.
understaffed.
No, hold on, Matt. Do you know how many people work at Valve?
I don't know how many people work at Valve, but
Here's
I
the number: thousands at Riot Games at one game. How many think work at Steam?
It's like 100, 200 less.
isn't it like 150?
360. When a company like Riot Games, which literally operates one game, has over 1,000 employees, all right? That's in 2013. They probably got more now. 1,000 employees for one game. A company like Valve, which is self-developing numerous games, maintaining their source
Three
engine,
at the same time, right?
and
now.
three at the same time, having their own platform that's literally the most popular PC platform in the world. Come on, they're mega understaffed.
That doesn't mean they're understaffed, though. Because
doesn't mean
they
they're
could
lazy.
have 10 people on every single one of these projects, and
actually,
the rest of them on Steam.
do you know
They
the way?
could.
Do you know the way that works in Valve?
Yeah, I know. You just move your stuff over
Yeah,
to another
yeah.
desk, and you're on another project.
Yeah.
That's a different issue altogether.
So imagine the guy who's in charge of maintenance on Steam. That's like the most boring job, maintenance, right? So he's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm wheeling over to the fun parts.
No, if you look at it objectively though, like companies actually measure like their sales per square feet for retail locations and measure productivity, right? If you divide Steam's revenue by their employees, they have the most productive employees like out of any gaming company in the world. So saying they're lazy is a cop out. They're
That's
not
right,
willing to hire
No,
more employees.
no, management is lazy then. They're not doing their job.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Management doesn't want to manage more employees. You can say
Yeah.
they're lazy.
Okay.
But I don't think it's fair to say the employees are lazy.
Okay. Well, he said Valve is lazy. He didn't say.
Okay.
And Valve refers to management.
What's
You're
why-
not going to
Let me
blame the
refine my
janitor,
statement. Let me refine my statement.
Okay.
They've handled Steam in a very lazy way for years.
Agreed.
Management
Like the
has. I agree.
Yeah, the way
Sure.
that they have approached Steam has been very lazy. That's what I was saying.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's fair.
Speaking of Steam and Valve, since we're on the topic, do you know what they're doing right now? What is Valve doing? Well, Gabe Newell's been giving quite a few talks lately to the press out in Seattle.
Mhm.
And one of the things that was revealed is that Valve is working on 3 VR titles, 3 individual VR titles with absolutely no details. All we know is that there are 3 separate VR titles being worked on. The likelihood of any of them having anything to do with Half-Life is almost zero. just because if there was a couple reports a while ago about Half-Life 3, that's a whole different story. But basically, they're working on VR titles for their Source 2 engine. And I think that, what they want to do is Valve, has a reputation. They probably want to create the game to sell the hardware. So who knows if all 3 of these games will even see fruition, or if these are just experimental projects that may or may not work out.
Like Half-Life 3.
Well, I don't even know if Half-Life 3 was even on the books. If there was any plan to do anything with it, but it's a whole different story.
I think it's going to sell the games. I think a Valve developed title. I think every VR title I've seen is a pretty small studio that makes it. It's not have we seen any like big budget VR games from like a well recognized studio? Like I don't think so. Everything has been like there's a lot of indie games on VR right now. A lot. Like almost all of them are indie. I mean, Valve made the demo for VR with the lab, and that's like one of the most played ones.
And they said that the lab is not what they mean by their VR. They mean full-fledged games.
Okay, that's cool. It's awesome then. I'm curious to see what they're going to make. I mean, I have a Vive, so it'll give me a reason to use it and try it out again.
Dave New also made an interesting point, though. He thinks that wireless VR will be the standard by 2018, which I think is vastly overestimating
wireless
the adoption of the hardware. Yep, that's I think that was one of the statements he made. Yes, according to Gama Sutra. So I think that, to me, that shows that there's an overestimation in the progress of VR. But maybe he's right. Maybe there's something I don't know in the hardware development community. But we'll see.
I'm waiting for my MMO VR. All right, come on, Val.
There'll be wireless VR in every home, like there'll be a Steam machine in every home.
Yeah.
And a Steam controller, Matt. Come on, all of it.
There's one in Matt's home. Matt, how much dust is on your Steam controller?
I don't even know where it is right now, so I can't tell you.
Probably a lot of dust then. But yeah, VR slow takeoff. I'm still waiting for a real MMO on VR. I'm curious to see how it's gonna go. If it ever happens. Well, it will.
I guess Elite Dangerous is the but
it wasn't made for VR. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. But so anyway,
all right, I got a fun story I want to share because I was playing. I was actually playing quite a bit of 300 Heroes last night. All right, I didn't expect to. All right, I linked the video showing some of the gameplay. Start at 1 minute over there to see some of the heroes in this game. It's actually a League clone. It's literally a League clone. Like it's copies League. The map is the same, and the jungle is the exact same, like identical jungle spawn location, everything. But it's a 7v7 Chinese knockoff of League. It's a MOBA, and I didn't think I would have fun with it, but the game has a remarkable assortment of heroes. You have like every popular anime character. They copy some Dota characters. You got like Anti-Mage, you got Queen of Pain, you have Makise Kira from Steins Gate, you got Naruto, you got Goku, you got Sephiroth, you got like pretty much, you have all the Madoka characters, like even some of the more like hardcore animes. You got Saber. You have so many anime characters in here from so many games. It's a really weird mashup of all these anime characters and video game characters in a single MOBA. And it's Chinese. Donkey made a video on it, and it seems kind of stupid because I think Shrek was in it at one point. There's Wally. You can play as Wally in the game too, right? And it seems really dumb, but I had a lot of fun playing it. Like I didn't think I would. I thought I'd play one round and like laugh it off and never play again. No, I played like 8 games in a row last night, and it was a blast. Not because it was balanced. It wasn't. You have the character from Attack on Titan, Makise, just diving around everywhere, killing everybody with the crazy mobility, and it was like mega broken in the game we played at least. But it was still fun. This tells me that balance doesn't matter for fun. Because this game has 10,000 players online concurrently as I was doing this video. And it's nuts. 10,000 people and the queues are instant. And it was at like 4 a.m. in China. At peak times, I'm curious what it'll be. And people do play 300 Heroes. The game over 10K concurrent right before I went to bed.
My favorite part was the jungle creeps were actually Pokemon.
You had like if you scroll in the video.
Yeah. You had like Pidgeots and a Nidoran, Nidoking,
Nidoqueens. Yeah. You got Cubones. Instead of the Golem camps are actually literally Cubones. And
that's awesome.
The Wraith camp is literally Pidgeys and a Pidgeotto. And there's Rattatas in the Wolf camp. If you just scroll through the video, you'll see them. It looks pretty hilarious.
Well, you got FMA in here too?
Yeah, you got FMA in there.
So,
I played as Miku.
Do you remember when China, I think it was in 2015, maybe 2016 last year, remember they made that major announcement they're going to crack down on copyright titles and they're gonna make sure that they stick to the books. Did they not look at 300 Heroes? Did they skip this one? I mean, I've never seen, except for that that Overwatch clone on mobile, I haven't seen anything so blatant as this.
I'm gonna defend them.
Tencent are the only ones that got any
Yes.
proper documentation to actually have a legal argument.
I see.
I gotta say, how much better is the Chinese system of copyright? Who are they hurting
I love
with
it.
this?
I love it.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I think this is funny and it's fun and go ahead, China. Do whatever you want.
You can never have a game like this because of American copyrights, right? To
Right.
even be able to get all these anime characters, video game characters, and stuff together. Like, even if some of the companies cooperate, you're not gonna get Disney to give them Wally, right? And like, one guy will say no. In China, they give no Fs, right? And look, the whole issue and argument about copyright aside, I think it creates a really fun game for the consumer, right? Like, this is a game it was mindless fun, and I had a blast playing it. I know Shu played with me as well, and she hates MOBAs now, but she enjoys this because it has her favorite characters in it too. Like, playing a character you enjoy, there's sort of online characters too, obviously. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's not balanced, right? And balance, whatever. Minus the balance issues, it's a blast, and balance means nothing to me at this point when I'm playing this game.
Yeah,
It's
but-
7-on-7 is pure chaos.
It's a balance because it's a shit show.
It's a shit show. It's 100% a shit show, and it's amazing. It's an amazing shit show. And this can only happen in China. This cannot happen in America because of the copyright laws.
What a shame.
Oh man, Disney would be greasing their palms up, and
Yeah.
they would send out a whole phalanx of lawyers to take this shit.
Oh
down.
yeah. And what's remarkable is actually if you zoom in on the characters, as I was playing, I checked out all the characters I played. The actual animations are really crisp. Like, it's top notch. Like, they didn't cheapen out on putting the models in the game. Like, they got dances, they got animations, spell effects. A lot of it's really well done. I mean, this is not just a cheap game they spent like $1 million on. They spent some money on this, and it really shows. I mean, that's why people play it. I just kind of wish we could play this in America. The biggest downside, if you want to play this, is that I was playing with 280 ping, but you don't need a VPN to play. You can figure out most of the interface on your own, and there's no phone verification required. So it's pretty easy to make an account, which is nice.
Honestly, I would rather play this than League of Legends any day.
I don't
all
blame you.
for silly MOBAs. I'm totally fine with this.
Yo,
I
we
want
should
to
all
play
play
with
one day.
Wally.
Yeah, I'll be down to play this too one day. We could just play, us, and we could fill up our
Yeah.
team. It's 7 people per team, right? So we can
Yeah.
get some buddies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna play again tonight. I had a blast playing this last night. I'm playing again tonight for sure. The only problem is the games last forever sometimes. It's literally a clusterfuck. All my games last a minimum 45 minutes, but it was still a lot of fun. It's called 300 Heroes. Yeah. If you come on the MMOs.com Discord, we'll drop some links there how to play later. But that's what I was playing last night. You guys play anything fun this last week, guys?
Did I play?
I played.
anything fun?
I played more Cloud Pirates because that came out into early access, and I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with that because I don't know if I get like jive well with the settings, like the realistic World War II kind of settings of most of these vehicular shooters. Dreadnought, the ship designs, I didn't like them, but I've always liked the kind of like cartoony, like steampunk-esque kind of vibe that Outlaws has. So I like the world, and I've been having a lot of fun playing a support class. I'm pretty sure Dreadnought is the only other one of the kind of in that genre that has a support class, but I can't remember if it does. But yeah, I've been having fun with the support class. It works kind of like Ana from Overwatch, where if you shoot an ally, it heals them, and if you shoot an enemy, it hurts them, and you deal very little damage when you shoot enemies. But yeah, I've been having fun with that.
In its core, is this game a lot like Dreadnought though? Like those kind of games?
Yeah, at its core, it's a lot like those. It's got this one mode that's called... Fuck, I don't even know what it's called. It's just a caravan mode. And one team defends the caravans while the other team tries to attack the caravans. And if you blow up the caravans, if you're on the attacking side, you can get materials that you can later use to build like a sky fortress with your clan.
I actually wanted to play this earlier, and I went on Steam, and like it's not on Steam yet. I'll just wait till it comes on Steam because they're doing the Steam early access, I think, shortly afterwards. Right now, it's only on my.com, right?
Yeah, right now it's only on my.com. You're gonna have to use the my.com launcher anyways because that's what Outlaws does on Steam.
Yeah. But I agree with you, Matt. I think this aesthetic looks a lot nicer to me. Personally, I'm more drawn to this aesthetic than the Dreadnought aesthetic, or the more like gritty, realistic look. It looks really sharp.
It's crazy. It's just that little aesthetic change,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's very similar. I mean, it's different, but it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
And just that little aesthetic change has made me want to play it so much more.
Cool. I want to try it out too now. But yeah, I'll probably wait till Steam release and then I'm gonna check it out. Anybody else playing anything fun?
Fun? No. I've been playing the Fire Emblem game on mobile.
Not fun.
You get bored after like a couple hours, honestly.
Lost its luster, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gumby.
I tried playing Disgaea.
How'd that go?
It's very slow, but I like those kinds of games. But I really didn't put too much time into it.
Mm.
This past week, I didn't play too much. I didn't really have any time, but I reinstalled. All right, here. This is, I think, something that everyone can relate to. I got enthusiastic to install a game, but I didn't actually launch it, which was
what game?
Battlefield 1. But Battlefield 1, I paid money for it, and Battlefield just put out a major update today with a number of fixes, their winter update. So I had it already installed, but I haven't launched it yet. So, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've been enthusiastic. I install the game, then I don't play it, but I kind of get a sick pleasure out of seeing it installed on my hard drive. Then, you know, then it takes a whole nother effort to actually launch the game.
Well, you got excited. That counts, man. I'll give you a check mark for that one.
Thank you. Can I get a check plus, please?
No, you don't get. You're not getting a check minus. You're getting a regular check. All right. The trick was if you got the check minus, you just put another line on, and now it's a check plus. All right, boom, done.
Look, Mom, I got a check.
I also I want to mention that there's this other indie game that's going to be really lesser known that I played this past week called We Need to Go Deeper. Yeah, go ahead and get your jokes out.
That's what she
It
said.
is Valentines Day. Yeah.
It's a submarine roguelike that's kind of inspired by game or books by Jules Verne, you know, like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and everything. And it's for up to 4 people. Like, it's a cooperative game, and one person has to drive, one person has to shoot. Ideally, you have someone else repairing, and you can find like caves underwater, and you'll jump out of the ship when you're in those caves, and you'll go venture around, kill enemies, and find loot and stuff, and you'll find upgrades that'll give you faster shield recharge times or something like that. It'll make your cannon turn faster so that you can react faster, and maybe like make your submarine move faster. Well, the game is insane. Like, at any one time when you're being attacked, you can have like a ton of like swordfish literally stabbing holes in your ship, and if they go through your hull right next to you, they'll hurt you. And you have like krakens that attack your ship, and their tentacles bust through the hull, and they beat the shit out of you until you beat them up, because they'll latch onto your ship, and you have to knock their tentacles off, knock the actual kraken off, and then shoot them again to kill them before they come back and attack you again. And if they attack you so many times, they run out of tentacles. They just float around as this head, and it's pretty hilarious. But the game is insane. I mean, I played it with Kat, and it's a 2-player game. It's just very, very difficult. We finally made it to the second biome, and we got attacked by these like anglerfish things, and they tore the ship apart within like a minute, and we drowned basically.
This looks
I like the
amazing.
concept of- yeah, it's a co-op only game too, and we don't get enough co-op games, so this seems pretty fun.
And it's online co-op. It's not local.
Oh, thank God! I hate when games have like, co-op, but then you have to be local. Thank God.
I love the
online co-op
style
is
in
nice.
this game.
Yeah, the art is amazing. Beautiful.
Really fun.
Art doesn't do it for me, but the gameplay
Really?
seems pretty cool. Yeah,
It looks
it's
like
not
a looks like a pop art book. You know, you turn the page and the stuff pops out.
yeah, it does, but
I think the art is
Isn't that what your whole
really nice.
library does?
I mean, to each their own. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just it's not like visually striking for me, but the gameplay looks fun because it's co-op, and co-op games are awesome.
Yeah, but if you guys, if anybody out there has 2 or 3 friends that they can grab and play a game for a night, it's insane fun. I mean, it needs a little bit of polish, but it's mostly there, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
All right.
And I'd hate to take the spotlight again, but I see someone asking about Wild 8. And I played Wild 8 as well. It's different because it's story guided. It's a survival game that's story guided, and you have to deal with the whole you're gonna freeze to death if you don't have like a fire at all times thing. But it's very, very hard. It is one of the hardest games I have ever played. I don't know how else to put it. It took Kat and I I want to say like 2 hours just to get to the like third objective. I think ideally it's up to like 8 people, so ideally you have maybe like 4 or 5 people at any one time. So just having 2 people, we didn't have like any of the like shit, how do I say it? Like we didn't have the ability to collect resources at the rate we needed to. So it took forever. It took forever to get anywhere.
You're like consuming more resource than you were getting with like
Yeah.
logs and stuff.
And especially with food. Food, it goes down so terribly, like fast. And
Burn those calories.
by the time we finally started getting anywhere, I'm not going to spoil what was in the building, but we get into this building and there's this mob in there and it just wrecks us instantly. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? And I rage quits.
Love the look of this game. This looks like a fun one.
It's a survival game, and the developers emphasize difficulty. I mean, they are. This is not a cakewalk. That's what they're trying to sell, the difficulty. So that's kind of cool. But it's another survival game, and we're seeing so many of these.
This one though reminds me of those old Warcraft 3 maps. The look of it, kind of. You know what I'm talking about? Or no?
I got Albion vibes. I know what you're talking about though, but I feel like it looks more like Albion.
The aesthetic is definitely Albion.
Well, I'm talking about the gameplay, but we'll see. Yeah, it does look fun though.
Cool.
Quick question for you, Matt, for that submarine game. Have you played Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time?
Yeah, it's better than that.
Okay, but it's the same kind of, somewhat similar, right?
It's conceptually similar, but it's got more to it.
Okay, cool.
And it feels more like you're actually fighting things off and less like you're just sitting in a panel for no reason.
Cool. All right. Well, those are 2 interesting upcoming early access games. Now to talk about perhaps a company that's not doing quite as well as these.
Who could it be? Who could it be? The suspense is killing me.
So I remember we talked about some Nexon and NCSoft numbers last week. I wanted to dig a little deeper specifically on Nexon's North American operation. Because I had a sneaking suspicion that, we always hear about Dungeon Fighter Online or Crossfire being these huge games in China. But when I look at the sites, when I look at the gaming community in America, those games don't resonate. They're not on the radar. Like DFO actually shut down in America by Nexon a couple years ago. So I thought to myself, there's no way these companies could be making money in America. And that happens to be the case. So I did a little chart here. Basically, Nexon America lost $43 million last year. And as you can see, they've been losing money basically since the company went public in 2011. They've never posted a profit in America since then. So
2010, they made $1 million. All right.
Yes, they made $1 million profit in 2010. That was the year before they went public. There's no numbers before that. Nexon America actually begins in 2005 with the launch of MapleStory, and I do believe they made some money back then, because MapleStory was pretty big when it first came out here. But they really haven't had a hit until Vindictus came out. I think also in 2009 or 10 or something. And besides those 2 games, I don't think anything they made here really caught on.
I mean, the revenue has increased significantly. You look at like 2014 to 2015, the revenue jumped from 49 million to 105. That is enormous.
Yeah, what do you think that
Icaurs is doing fairly well.
Yeah.
I don't know about financially, but it's got people playing it.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see this this year. This year they have a couple games coming out. MapleStory 2, potentially. Hyper Universe. Those will be fun, but I don't think they're much different than their other games here that kind of middled along.
Whoa, you missed Lawbreakers.
Well, I was gonna say the big one coming out this year will be Lawbreakers, and that's with their partnership with Boss Key, and that is slated to be a buy-to-play game. So perhaps Nexon is learning. See, Nexon came in and kind of helped introduce Western gamers to free-to-play. So they kind of wrecked everyone's shit up into the market, and even they can't make money from it. So even they're going back to buy-to-play as their way to make money in America, which I found interesting.
Also, go ahead.
I'd like to theorize something. So basically, whenever you see a mobile game by Nexon Korea is actually the one that I get the press releases from. So I'm 90% sure that Nexon Korea is the one publishing the mobile games here in the West. So perhaps the reason they're losing money is because they don't have any of the mobile games.
Yes,
that's interesting.
That's important to keep in mind with the way the divisions work. I'm specifically talking about their North American office building and the games that they run, which I think at this time, you're right, Matt, are just the
PC and more.
Yeah, because it's so easy for to translate mobile games because there's not that much text. So they're probably doing that from their head office.
mean, you brought up Lawbreakers too. Worth mentioning. It's coming out in 2017. That was like
Yep,
that was in the earnings release too. So it's coming out later this year. No word on exactly when. As a small clarification, you said DFO shut down a couple years ago.
It did.
At least, yes, but it did relaunch. So I don't want people to think the game is gone. Nexon was publishing DFO, and they shut it down, and it's been shut down for a while. And then they relaunched it globally through Neopol, their subsidiary that actually develops the game. It's still around, you know. And this is again numbers specifically for Nexon America. Nexon as a company makes a shit ton of money, mainly because of Korea and China. America is a tiny portion of their revenues, and they lose money on those revenues as well. But isn't that nuts? They make 85 million last year in revenue, and they lost 43 million. I mean, on 85 million revenue, you're losing like 43 million. Like, I get it, like you lose like 10% on that, but they're losing like half.
They're
Yeah, we
basically
should have charged them a little less, but you know.
basically they're charging $50 for $100 bills. That's the way I like to see it.
No, I mean, look, they're making money on the transactions, right? Because when you buy an item in MapleStory, that's 100% margin, but their expenses are greater. That's simple. They have a lot of employees. They got developers. They got people
Well,
working.
they don't have developers.
They have no developers. You're telling me?
Nexon America?
They got design. They have designers probably, where they communicate the decisions they want to make changes for the Western version, maybe.
Do they ever really make changes? They always say they do, but what do they actually do?
I know.
Nothing.
They cover up some cleavage.
Oh, that requires like 5 people on staff.
If
Well,
I had
it
to,
ain't easy.
if I had to guess, I'd say they do have developers on staff, and the reason I say that is because, like, with Ragnarok 2, War Portal recently took over development of Ragnarok 2 from Gravity, which was the main company. So I'd say that every one of these companies has some developers on staff, but I wouldn't be able to tell you how many.
Because I mean, I can't imagine them. You know, what are they spending that money on? They got $85 million coming in. That means they clearly have like 130 million going out. Where's that money going out to? There's got to be tons of employees.
And I mean,
Yeah.
the crazy thing is to think they spent that much money and they couldn't even give us the original Korean launch version of Riders of Icarus.
I mean, it's unfortunate they're losing money, but I don't think they're going to give up on America at all. I mean, they have Lawbreakers coming out. And if you look at previous slides from their investor presentation, they're going to boost North American revenues. That will be their single biggest engine of growth going forward, the largest segment of growth rather. So they're doubling down in America. I mean, there's no sign of them, giving up. They did move. They are cost conscious though, because that's probably one of the reasons they moved Atlantica to Volof. They didn't want to self-publish it because it wasn't making any money for them, and I guess they wanted to fire the people working on in their American office for that game to save money. But they're going to keep doubling down. They said they're going to make some acquisitions in America, so they're trying. And I think even though they're losing money, this is an industry where it's like you make one huge game and it'll carry you. I mean, almost every company has that one huge game. NCSoft has Lineage, right? Like Lineage 1 that's been carrying them since like 1997. You have, Nexon, which is being carried by DFO, which released 2005, 2004, I forgot when. But they're going for they need a hit. Every one of these companies, they live off hits. All right. So trying and losing money is almost like normal business practices until they get that hit. And the only way to get that hit is to keep trying and churning out titles. And one of them is going to stick and stick remarkable. That's their goal.
You're right, and I think they're finally learning. I think they gave up on their first-party games here, in terms of at least turning a profit. The CEO of Nexon did say he's going to invest in a lot more Western studios, and the Lawbreakers deal is a sign of that. Their previous one didn't go so well. Dirty Bomb. They actually had the global marketing and publishing rights to Dirty Bomb, which was developed by Splash Damage, and that deal fell apart. Splash Damage decided to go its own way, so. The strategy is yet to pay off, but 2017 will be the year we find out with Lawbreakers.
All right, Nexon. I believe in Nexon. I think Blizzard is like the only company that comes to mind that's got like so many hits, right? For these online games, typically 1 or 2 games max usually end up carrying the company. Blizzard has a pretty good, portfolio of games where everything makes a lot of money. You have WoW, which makes like $700 million. And then you have Hearthstone, which makes $400 million. Isn't that nuts? Hearthstone makes like $400 million when that's crazy. $400 million off Hearthstone.
I think the more interesting thing about Blizzard's success is the fact that their games, Hearthstone, WoW, Diablo 3, have been successful across the world. So they're hits in Asia, China, Korea, and they're hits here in the West where they're made. So few companies have found that cross success. So for example, all these Korean companies, Nexon, NCSoft, they don't make money in America. Even if NCSoft breaks even on their revenues here, it's not. It doesn't move the needle for the company. Whereas Blizzard, they seem to be popular everywhere games are played.
Yeah, they're rocking it.
And same with League. League is popular wherever it's played, despite being a Western developed title.
All right. Obviously, guys, you did bring up NCSoft, so we got to mention Lineage too. Right? There's a new Lineage 2 Korean update, and they're celebrating their 10-year. They're ending a 10-year story saga for their storyline. I forgot what it was called, but this storyline has been going for 10 years in Korea, and it's finally ending today. Like, how many games even survive 10 years to have a 10-year story arc? Is that nuts?
How many players survive the game to
Listen,
conclude the 10-year
Well,
story arc?
It's still doing pretty well in Korea, so I'd say there are a lot of people.
And I think it's doing pretty well in America too. You guys might, Gumby and Aaron, you guys might be discounted. The server we were on was set as busy, and we see a shit ton of players in every single town. The game is doing well. I mean, there's no way to look at numbers. I wish it was on Steam so we can pull some numbers, but it's got players.
It's got players, but do you think it's making money outside Korea?
Again, we can't know that. I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead and give a big old no. Just pulling a number out of my ass, I say no.
I say they're doing fine. I don't know if they're making money, obviously, but most of the money comes in Korea for all these companies. I know NCSoft does break it down again, and North American revenues are tiny overall, but it's busy, and I'm glad to see it making money and surviving this long. So it wasn't a bad game, all right.
I think it was surprisingly smooth, especially for its age. I still say that.
Yeah, it works.
I had the opposite impression. I felt the things it did well weren't important, and the things it did poorly were important to me, at least. So it just didn't jive with me. The world was too big for what you did with the world. There wasn't much to interact with, right, in the world. But the zones there, the area between two like important spots was just this green nothingness, and it just didn't add anything for me.
All right, here's another interesting element, guys. This game, we should have probably played on the classic server. There's something on called an EU game called Lineage 2 Classic. I believe it's a subscription-based game, actually, right? Which is nuts because Lineage 2 was originally subscription-based and it went free to play. But this EU version of the game is based on the classic version. It's they have two servers, I think, one classic, one faster leveling. But it's the way the game was meant to be played, and I think how I played on the private server back in the day, where it's a more measured leveling experience. And it's actually really popular. I mean, I'm looking at if you look at their Alexa rank, they're at 5,000. They're the 5,000th biggest website in the world. And this is the only game they have. I bet these servers are packed at this point to be able to get those kind of numbers.
Oh, maybe.
Wait,
This is
what?
huge.
That's not the only game that 4Game has.
Hold on, let me look. I went to their homepage and I saw this. Let me see what else they got.
It's not even close to the only game 4Game has.
Let's take,
4Game has to have at least 4 games. All right, let's.
Hold on. Matt. Where are you seeing the other games? If I go to their homepage, I only get directed to Lineage.
They must have shut them down recently then.
All right,
Hold
hold on.
on.
Because there's a website called 4games.com, but that's a separate website, and it's about these Chinese games. So 4game.com. They only have Lineage 2.
Wait, no,
and
I'm
Lineage
mixing
Classic.
it up with GameNet. Never mind.
Okay.
The other one has Black Desert and Battle Carnival.
All right, so it's pretty ginormous to have that kind of Alexa ranking, which means people do play this stuff, Actually, hold on. Look at their Russian website has a few other games too. They publish Blade and Soul actually. They publish Aeon, so they have a good deal with NCSoft. They have a few other games as well actually, and you can't see those unless you go to the Russian version. But everyone I've gotten emails from people saying play the EU version because it's mega packed, and if that's subscription based, I think it's making money. Because do you count Europe as West, it's still Western. So if you add up those revenues, I think it's quite possible the game is profitable.
Okay, but I gotta make a distinction between the game and NCSoft making money on the West. So, for example, they're paying a royalty. This company is paying a royalty to NCSoft. Now, does that royalty and the revenue they make from the American server cover the cost of their Western operations? I say no.
I don't know. Impossible to know again.
It has
to play.
It has to, and the reason for that is they were quick to shut down Lineage in the West rather than make it go free to play.
I don't think they were quick. It's been that's an old game.
But they haven't shut down WildStar yet. There's no way that's making money. So I don't
They
know.
haven't shut down like anything since they shut down. Okay, City of Heroes was making money and they shut that down.
Well, that just shows the decision is not just about losses, because Nexon is keeping everything up, even though they're losing money hand over fist. But we'll see. We'll
That's
see.
true.
We'll see. On to I mean, this is actually you brought Nexon's losing money hand over fist. You know why? Because they're not bringing closers to America. But don't worry, somebody is. All right.
Really?
It's actually pretty
I
cool.
don't think
yeah.
Closers the breadwinner there, but go
Closers
ahead.
is gonna
What's
close the
that?
deal. It's gonna close the deal. They're gonna make money. All right. This is pretty cool, actually. They're doing a private server for closers, and this is the official, I guess, forum post introducing it. And Closers is a Nexon published title. It's been out in, I think, Korea for a while, but there's been no word on an American release, like, ever. So these guys are going to make their own private server for the game. This is what happens when you never launch your game overseas. Somebody's going to make a private server.
That's pretty cool. Are they gonna translate stuff?
Yeah, it's translated.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not fully translated right now, but like the important stuff is translated.
And they say they're going to have custom content and 3 times XP rates. And I think they're going to have easier ways to get like cosmetics in game rather than paying. But that sounds really cool. I mean, this is, look, like there's obviously, take the intellectual property issues aside. I think this is a huge win, for gamers. Why not? We get more choice in the West at the detriment of Nexon, I guess. But clearly they don't care about it. So it's all us.
Yeah,
Shot
pretty
in
cool.
China though.
Look at those dances. Scroll down. Look at the bunny girl outfit. All right.
All
Look
right.
at the boob physics. Just leave those ladies running there the whole time,
I'd
right?
hazard a guess that it isn't coming here.
No, probably. It's been a while already, so it's probably not officially going to launch here.
Yeah, it's releasing with Soul Worker, don't you know? Yeah,
Yo,
right.
Soul Worker's got more of a chance. Soul Worker's at least announced, and it was like they put
Well,
a
not
splash
really
page for it.
announced.
There's a splash page for it. All right, it's something. This game I played the Korean version for a video, and like I don't know, it didn't do it for me in the first like 20, 30, 40 minutes I played afterwards, and like it just felt a little jankier and not
You
as
have
sharp.
to get to the real game at max level.
No, but like when I played RPO, like that was fun. I played that for hours already afterwards too, and I streamed it again. I just played on my own for fun, right? RPO just felt like from the get-go like super nice and fluid and really cute. This game, like it looks decent, it looks good in screenshots, but like my game, it looked like janky, and it looked like the graphics weren't as good as some of the trailers I've seen for the game. But maybe there's more to it, and I'm curious to see what people who played the game do think. And I'll play the private server too. We got the 3 times XP rates too, so it'll go quick.
It's definitely also got a fan base because I mean they brought it over here and they translated it. I mean it's not just a private server; they translated it.
It's an ordeal, yeah.
They
And
also
look-
called
yeah.
themselves well funded. I don't know what that means, but they said they're well funded and like skilled.
I wish it
It's in
said
there.
trust funded instead.
Well, they call themselves skilled. Nice. Of course, they call themselves skilled. But I guess it means they don't want people to think they're a fly-by-night operation. We'll see though. When is it coming out again, Matt? Do you
It's
know?
out.
It's out right now. That's awesome.
That's the announcement post that it's out.
Sunday
Awesome.
fun
That was
day.
I say that's not a bad idea at all.
We
It's
already had
amazing.
a Sunday fun day.
Oh. All right.
Very cool though. Custom content too. Nice. I'm gonna download that version and check it out then.
Yeah.
God bless private servers.
I'm
All right.
gonna
God bless
bookmark
private
this.
servers.
Cool.
Now we gotta mention another big news. Actually, this was actually probably the biggest news. The Kingdom Under Fire bit. Matt, do you want to take that?
Oh yeah, so Kingdom
It's
Under
big.
Fire, they finally announced that it will be launching in Russia this fall, and that once it launches in Russia, they're going to bring it to North America and Europe sometime. We don't know when. It could be anytime in 2018. It could be 2019, but it will be after Russia. Like they remembered about us. They know we're here. They know we want it, and they're eventually going to bring it to us. Now hold on. Sorry, I had to click open the article and I have it on push to talk. So, also interesting figure that I know Omer was excited about.
I was very
They have
excited.
spent 78 million on Kingdom Under Fire so far. 78 million.
That's
making
nuts.
It is called the most expensive Korean MMO ever created, and somebody, I don't remember who, commented in like Discord or somewhere saying that it was more expensive than their most expensive movie.
Wow.
So this is like the most expensive entertainment product to come out of Korea, basically. And to put that into context again, guys, it's one of the most expensive MMORPGs period in the world. We keep a nice ongoing log about the most expensive MMOs ever developed, and basically I'll tell you what it costs. It costs more than Rift. Rift costs 50 to 70 million. World of Warcraft vanilla costs 63 million. DC Universe was 50 million. Secret World is 50 million. So we have a list of these games, and it makes it to the list. I mean, it's not the most expensive game, but the most expensive Korean game. It's close to games like Final Fantasy 14 and Firefall, which costs tons of money, and that's nuts. I'm surprised we haven't, nothing else was the most expensive game till this. 78 million bucks. It wasn't from Nexon. It wasn't from NCSoft. It was Kingdom Under Fire 2 that made that list.
Wow.
There's also another figure that's really nice. So right now, the Blue Side 2.0 engine can support up to 10,000 units on screen at once. They're currently working on the Blue Side 3.0 engine, and this is going to work on PS4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
It supports up to 60,000 units on screen at once.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it too. Right now, this trailer looks pretty badass too. It looks like Dynasty Warriors, but they do say that specifically they have MMO elements too, territory control, guilds, sieges, and all that stuff too. And if you search on YouTube, you will find actual gameplay videos for the game because it did have a closed beta back in 2011. So it's been in development hell for a while too. Possibly one of the explanations for the big budget is they've been developing it forever. So in 2011, the first closed beta happened, and it actually ended up launching into this state of beta that was accessible in Southeast Asia. But that version of the game, when it launched, I think in 2013 or so, it has been updated in literally years. So the current state of the game is vastly different than what they have.
I think they had
playable.
one expansion for the SEA version. That was it. It was done.
And it doesn't even work anymore. You can't even play it today. Like, you can download it, but it just doesn't work. And every on the forums complaining it just doesn't work. So clearly it's been neglected since then. There's a Chinese version, which is way more up to date, and that one's going to launch first, and then we're going to get the RU version after.
Yeah, the Chinese version is going to be in no wipe closed beta, which requires a key. Sorry, guys. Next month. So if you can get a hold of a key sometime, you can play it on the Chinese servers, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be IP blocked. Chinese is pretty easy to sign up for, but you need an ID number. We have stuff on the site that teaches you how to get those. But yeah, so they're going to have their first no wipe closed beta, like the first launch in the world, the first no wipe ever, next month. So it's getting there. It's getting there.
It's actually going to happen. I mean, I remember seeing this video ages ago, like, about this game, because again, it was announced. The first closed beta was in 2011. That means they must have announced it before then too. The hype was there. It kind of faded, but now it's going to be back again after they're going to be pushing all this marketing materials. It looks badass, this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the biggest. This might be one of the biggest launches of the year too. I mean, obviously budget-wise, it's going to be the biggest, but looks pretty intense. I really wanted to play it too on the Southeast Asian version, but I couldn't. It just doesn't work right now.
I mean,
But yeah, so also interesting to note, they are launching in China first, then they're going to launch in Taiwan, and then after that, Russia. And then after Russia, alongside the North American and European and Japanese ones, they're going to start working on the Korean one, even though it's a Korean game.
That's so weird that the Korean game is like, we're going to get it first before the Koreans this time.
We might. We don't know. Just after Russia.
Mm-hmm. But even the Russia, honestly, when it comes out in Russia, I can already play it easily. Like, Russia there's no, usually silly like phone restrictions or ID restrictions. Anyone can make accounts on Russian games. They're typically very easy to do, and usually the VPNs are no issues anyway. So I'll play when the Russian version comes out. At least do a video then. But yeah, it's Kingdom Under Fire too. I'm actually pretty hyped for it after seeing that trailer.
I am very skeptical.
I am too, because it looks too good almost. But I am skeptical.
I played the Taiwanese version. It's very cool.
All right. Wow.
The Southeast Asian version, I mean, again, they never updated it, and I really wish I got to play it before it shut down or before it became inaccessible. But until then, like, you gotta give it credit too. It's doing something different, right? We've seen the MMORPG formula many times, and I know Erhan was kind of complaining about that Moonlight Blade was like that formula. There was a mini discussion about it's just what to do right away because it follows the same formula. Clearly, this is not going to follow the same formula. Like, this is not a traditional MMORPG in a sense, but they do call it an MMORPG themselves. And it will have MMORPG elements, just not in that same mold that we're so used to with the quest hubs and running along the rail of getting to, like, going through dungeons and content. It's going to be different, at least what it's promising so far.
Right, I hope so.
We've been lacking original games for a while, so I'm hoping hoping this fills the void, but it's still unfortunately quite a whiles away. Rip.
I
All the
think
good games are always far away.
I honestly am so surprised that these games take this long to make, and I think that's gonna be I think that's the biggest advantage of mobile games. You can get them out there fast, see if they do well, take them down, try again. This game was announced in 2008. The closed beta was in 2011, and we're gonna see it in 2017 now. It's
What a crazy development
it's
cycle.
like literally a decade-long development cycle. I don't know. That's something.
That is something. It's a decade.
Guys, did you guys enter the Rise or Icarus data GM contest?
Oh, well,
no.
how does that work? I want to see this.
Did we talk about it last week?
Did we?
I think we did, but it was actually no, we didn't actually.
No, it's Valentine's Day. Bring it up again.
It's Valentine's Day. It's a fun event. All right. In Rise of Icarus, they're hosting a really fun, interesting event where you can literally date a GM. All right. In order to get the GM you want, you have to woo them by sending them in-game like poems, artwork, Valentine's Day cards, basically whatever you think you can woo them with. Don't send them dick pics. I feel like a lot of people are gonna do that, and it's not gonna be the play. All right.
Oh my god.
Don't send them the dick pics, but they're gonna get them obviously.
Why was I chosen? Oh, you had the nicest dick pic. The lighting was just magnificent.
The shadows, beautiful. And the contest ends on February 16th, so send your favorite in-game GM some goods. If I win, she's got to put out, all right? I want to get my toe in that ear. All right? I want to do the weirdest ERP. The weirdest freaking ERP if I win. All right? I got to send something. I got to prepare some MS Paint artwork.
What does ERP stand for?
Oh, erotic role playing, obviously. Come on.
Oh, that's
You
an
know that
that's an
coming.
acronym, huh?
Yeah, it's so standard. It's an acronym
Initialism.
now. All right?
Okay.
For the record, it's a 1 hour long date. All right, they're on the
know.
clock. They're on the clock when they're dating you. All right.
Yeah, they're watching that clock.
That's a really cool idea though. The fact that you can actually interact with GMs like this.
But yeah, it's like obviously they're just normal people too, right? But like to have an event like that which involves creativity is like I think it's so much more like intuitive and like thought out than like normal Valentine's Day events where you win like a bag of heart, like a heart bag which has like random like Valentine's themed goods in it, right? Come on, like that shit's like so standard almost. Like give players a cool way. Like events should be fun and different. I'm sure they're doing all the basic stuff too, where there's like regular quest events where you get bonus XP and other jazz and items for participating. But like, having stuff like this is fun, you know? It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So God bless Nexon for doing this. Whoever wins, just if somebody else wins out there that's watching us, be like, put your toe in their ear in the RP and see what they say.
You know
Right?
who's gonna
Pull a
win,
Remo.
Whoever donates enough money so Nexon can recuperate their losses.
There you go. Whoever's got the most cash off spending ends up winning. And somebody said GM is a blanket term now for customer service representative. Yeah, probably, but you know, it's still fun. There's obviously more events going on too. Every game, and like whether it's BDO, FF14, probably World of Warcraft, like every game is going to be running a Valentine's event, and it's usually not over today. So if you listen to this, the events probably aren't over. They usually go for like a couple days or like a week after Valentine's Day. So take advantage. Take advantage. Somebody just said the game is pay to date. It's pretty funny. But so is real life, all right? Real life is pay to date as well.
Too true.
Just date a gym in a game, all right? Just get on 5 Street and do the falling animation on the girls. All right, that's cheap. That's free. It's for everyone. All right. I think that was the most fun Valentine's Day event.
Agreed.
But in some more, we talked about Kingdom of Fire 2. There's actually another game that we can get hyped about again. This is a game that a lot of people have been hyped about for a while, and we have a reason to talk about it again. Lost Ark, guys, has a job posting. You know you're grasping at straws when the only news you have about a game in literally months, is that they posted a job listing for a game tester. But I guess that means shit's progressing. Sean, you take this away.
You already covered it. That's all there is to it. They put out a job listing for a QA game tester, and that's it. That's it. Lost Ark.
Basically, it means nothing.
It means almost nothing, except that this game has been in development for a while now. I don't know when we first heard about it, but we've seen full-on gameplay, cinematic moments. We've seen classes and characters, running through dungeons, but apparently it's just not up to snuff yet. So now they're actually bringing in games testers because I guess the good people at Smilegate realized that a closed beta test doesn't give you feedback for shit. So now they're actually going to hire somebody who's a professional to tell them what systems need to be improved before they release the game. Now, this is both a sign of confidence in the sense that Smilegate wants to improve their game systems and make sure everything's right, and also a sign, it's also important in that, boy, it sure has been quite a bit since the last closed beta, and you know, it doesn't bode well for the game as a complete package. What's going on over there at Smilegate? Because the hype train started a while ago. I mean, they released, was it a 20-minute video or 14-minute video showing off gameplay? So I'm a bit worried, to be totally honest. Well, we can see the job listing here. I think you put the link in.
Yeah.
So if if we have any viewers from Korea, go ahead, get the job, give us the deets. All right? Take some footage. That exclusive coverage.
This actually discourages me. If they're just now hiring these kind of QA testers, we're far away.
Yeah, you think so? When do you think it's coming out?
Not this year.
Definitely, I agree. Definitely not this year.
I mean, you don't just start hiring people for this. Oh my god, it's actually.
Oh, they've already done a public test. They've done one form of closed beta
they've done a
testing.
public test. That's what he's saying. You don't hire people after you do the public test.
Maybe they're gonna remake. I don't know. They probably made big changes. They want to see what feedback is from them.
Do you think they were so naive that they thought their closed beta testers would give them feedback? I struggle to believe that. That they actually that thought closed beta meant closed beta and not fucking hype tease.
It's true. I'm looking at actually the other job listings from the same company. They actually have 2 other Lost Ark related job listings, and what's funny is they refer to Lost Ark as the next generation MMORPG. I feel like every game kind of does that too, but it's just funny to see the lingo being tossed around. So they're hiring a business planner, a project manager for Lost Ark as well.
Oh, that's not good.
And they're hiring, well, we got the QA staff already. Some other QA recruitment, not just the tester, but it's
They're hiring a guy to hire the tester.
There you go, QA recruit.
Your game can't be next gen if it takes so long that next gen's here by the time it releases.
I agree. And I'm looking at some of the eligibility for this for these jobs. You need high content comprehension of the MMORPG industry, utilizing planning capacities. Interesting. Look what it takes to become a tester in Korea. All right.
Hire me, please.
Again, just send your let's all send our resumes in. We get the job, and we just ask when is it coming out.
Whoa,
we demand to know.
You're assuming I have a resume.
Oh, of course. Just send them. I'll send them one of my league replays.
I'm gonna take
right?
a cute Riders of Icaurs. It is Valentine's Day. I'm gonna send them a dick pic, and I'll let you know how that goes.
Guys, it's Valentine. Just send them your league profile, right? Your ratings, your rankings. In Korea, doesn't that pass off as a resume these days? Come on, everybody plays league over there.
Oh, so when you get hired, you get us the footage, and then
all right, I got you guys. All right, we'll get in. I'm still hype about the game, but just unfortunately we gotta wait forever now. You know, we still have to. It still feels like forever. At least when there's a Korean release date, like we know, like that's a starting point for Western localization.
Yes.
You know, when the Korean version launches, then we can start counting like the days. It's almost gonna happen. We're not even at the point where there's a release date for the Korean version yet. So the hype's gotta like. This game has been the #1 highest rated games on MMOs.com purely based on hype for the longest time. It's rated at 4.16 just on MMOs.com by user ratings. And everyone's hyped about this game, and no one's played it.
You know what's funny is I bet the footage they showed off was like the only polished sequences they had. Everything we've seen so far from this game has been highly cinematic. Reminds me of another Kickstarter, soon-to-be Kickstarter title that showed us some highly cinematic gameplay.
Oh, we
And,
should
you
take
know,
it up, bring it up. Yeah.
What I think happens is you have these sequences, you have these highly orchestrated sequences like this, and then the rest of the game ends up falling flat, and that's probably where the issues are that they see. Is that because the entire game can't be one column falling after another, one cinematic boss fight after another. You know, there has to be some type of standard going on. Otherwise, you're never going to release the game. That would take forever. So, I wonder what the atypical gameplay is like, and maybe that's the problem. It's the stuff that we're not seeing. I mean, yes, it's pretty. Yes, there's these really nice level designs, but you know, it's just what they choose to show. So. Who knows how far in development they actually got, you know?
I mean, more so than
outside
like
of core systems.
more so than Astro Creation, which we're going to bring up next, because at least they did have that public closed beta. Like there was something for people
Sure.
to explore, you know, and play.
Before we move on to actual creation, how much of an impact on Lost Ark hype do you guys think Moo Legend will have?
I think a good amount.
None.
Why?
None, really.
It's not the same game. People. That
It's
are
the same
going
game.
After people that are going after Lost Ark are looking for like the next big ARPG. People that want to play Moo Legend want to just play an ARPG. There's a difference.
Okay, there's a difference. But do you think if they like Moo Legend, I think Moo Legend's gonna be like a net that kind of like filters.
Aaron, I'll tell you why it's not going to have any effect. Here's why. Moo Legend's releasing. Lost Ark, as far as we know, is no time soon. By the time people are burnt out of Moo Legend, they'll be ready for Lost Ark.
Oh, all right.
Well,
That's true. That's true.
There's also the thing that a lot of the people that are waiting on Lost Ark are probably going to go into Moo Legend not looking at it as a permanent thing, just something to hold them over, and it's going to be just something to hold them over that they're going to quit quickly. It's just how it works.
All right.
Somebody said Lost Ark just couldn't figure out the rope bridge versus rope as bridge differentiation. Remember we had that discussion about the rope bridges in Lost Ark?
That was a heated discussion. I remember.
That was a very heated discussion.
That was unusually heated.
I still hold to my original points. Whatever they were, I don't remember, but I'll hold to them.
I'm holding on to my gut too. It's whatever they were at the time. I completely forgot, but I'm holding on.
And
to
before I said that, what?
them.
I don't believe you. I would never say that.
All right, who wants to take Astro Creation? This is clearly they listened to the MMOs.com podcast. All right, that's the only reason they came out with this
Ashes of
recently.
Creation released a small cinematic clip of a character running through one of their open world dungeons, complete with choreographed sequences, in order to prove that they have a game that's more than environments. It's quite pretty. It's clear that it's an actual person playing. However, there's no UI, and it's one clip. I don't think it's something for me to drop my pants over and take the money out of my ass crack and donate to them, but they did show something, so whippy-doo-dah-day to them. But I'm not sold just yet. We can watch the clip now. It's very short. It's 2 minutes.
We're already watching it, but they're gonna put out a video with the UI supposedly this week. That's what
Sure.
Whatever they say, I don't buy it. When I see more videos, I'll revise my opinion. But as is, I ain't buying. I ain't buying what they selling me. They got nothing. All right. They made this scene after they heard me bitch about their game. All right. I'm telling you, they heard me.
You weren't the
complain that
only
they got
one.
nothing. I'm not the only one. Yes.
You were the only ones here skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was plenty of skepticism for any Kickstarter project.
Yeah,
But this isn't gameplay. Let's be very clear. I mean, yeah, maybe there's somebody there, but this is an editor choosing, just like in a movie, choosing how the material is going to be presented. I want to see the UI. I want to see somebody sitting at the computer. I mean, I think these types of things need to be held to a higher standard to say it's gameplay.
I don't think this is fair to you. This is not. This doesn't show anything. They could have just booted up their Unreal Engine and just made this scene completely separate of everything they talked about. You know, like
Well, only Star Citizen does that.
Yes, did they get caught doing that? But yeah, look, I don't want to get hype over this yet, but look, at least I do want to give them credit. This is what they should have came out with in the beginning, at least.
Yes.
You know, it's less cringy than those environmental scenes we've seen earlier. Like, I can't believe they showed those off as like a game. It's just these Unreal assets with the environment showing, and that's it. If they came out with this, it's way better. And it's still we're still the show me phase, and I'm glad they're actually showing something. You know, I don't think this is anything just yet, but it's more than what they had before. That's my view.
Sure.
I still think they got nothing though, but we'll see.
I'm in the same boat with you, and I think we'll watch the ship full of money sink in the distance as we sail off into better seas.
Let's make a prediction, guys. After this. Yeah.
Sure. No, I'm done. I'm just bullshitting.
I love predictions. Listen, when they launch their Kickstarter, how much do you think they're going to ask for, and how much do you think they're going to raise? What do you guys think?
Good question.
Whew.
I can start if you guys want.
Go ahead.
Start us, please.
I think they're going to ask for $200,000,
I
and
feel like you're lowballing.
they're not going to get it. Is my guess.
Really?
They're gonna ask for 2 million. 2 million.
They have a full staff, remember, of people who are actually in the industry.
That's true.
I think Matt is closer to the
Two.
actual.
All right,
Yes.
I'm just throwing it out there. We'll see.
I'll lowball you, Matt. I'll say 1.5 just for some reason.
I say 200K and they're gonna get it. I think 200K and they're gonna get it is my
They
guess.
probably get 200K, yeah.
But I'm saying 200K because I think they're gonna lowball it and they're gonna like put all these bullshit like stretch goals. Even though like the whole lowballing thing is kind of scummy because like I think Chronicles of Illyria did it where they're like, okay, we need like $1 million to make this game, and then after they get $1 million, oh by the way, we need like 5 times this amount. Like, what's the point of putting stretch goals when your regular goal doesn't cover the actual game?
You gotta pay the game director's salary though.
So I think it's gonna be one of those situations. Aaron, what's your guess?
I'll say they'll ask for $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going lowball because they don't like the worst thing they can do is like ask for $1 million and then get like 800K. Because then like shit, we left 800K on the table. They're gonna ask for 200K and they might get like $1 million though. I think. I'm guessing they're gonna lowball it, but we'll see. We'll see when they actually launch the Kickstarter.
I think the reason why to guess high is that they, so far from what we've seen, they're trying to tout themselves as a next-gen, high-quality, go-to Star Citizen version of fantasy MMORPGs. And I think that's part of the reason we've seen this kind of media blitz come out of them recently is that they're slowly gearing themselves up for this big budget Kickstarter MMORPG. At the same time, though, if you guys didn't know Apocalypse Now, if you've seen the movie, I tried to recently make a Kickstarter for a game, and they didn't meet their goal. I think they only raised $800,000. So maybe they can't actually hit those big numbers. Maybe that will affect how they go about it. But
okay, maybe $1 million is too high, but I think there's a risk with asking for too low, too, like 200K. Then it kind of seems weird. You either don't need the money because 200K is not enough to develop a game like this,
right?
Or why if you have so much money, why are you asking us for 200K?
Oh, proof of concept. Don't you know that's what Kickstarter is for these days?
I don't know. I think they're gonna ask for more, well over 200K.
Well,
maybe 800, maybe $1 million, somewhere around there.
You're at 800 to $1 million too. We got our numbers down. I know I got the lowest number, but we'll see. We'll see when they come out.
Now I can't wait to find out.
Me too. I'm curious what they're gonna ask for.
I want to know how in tune we are with
the Kickstarter universe,
because we've been doing this for a while.
I prefer predicting the Kimochi crowdfunding. All right, it's an adult Kickstarter version, way better than Kickstarter, guys.
I can bet that one too. Most of them will be around $100, and then maybe the big dogs get 2K. No, depends on how many gifts they got in their campaign.
I mean, how many other Kickstarter projects raised over $1 million? Like, there aren't that many. Like 3 or 4 maximum? Actually, no, like 4
I think
or 5.
There's more than that, but you're right. There aren't that many. But I just think of who's your competition? I think of Chronicles of Illyria. They raised quite a bit, and I feel like they had jack shit too. So
yeah, that's true.
I guess we'll see.
Unfortunately, that Kickstarter I mentioned last week did not get any additional funding. They're like at $200 still. Eternal Chaos or Chaos, whatever it's called, Chaos Online. Still hoping for that Kickstarter money. Maybe upgrade their website. Who knows?
I love watching these Unreal Engine assets show me the different weather patterns and stuff. This is very nice.
We should make. I should make a joke Kickstarter with like just showing off literally nothing and asking for lots of money, and then be like, after they get the money, like it was a scam.
Ask for $1.
And then give it back at the end. Like, this is why you don't fund shitty Kickstarters, all right? Like, I got no experience. I just said all this nonsense, and I just showed these Unreal assets, and you guys gave me this money. You should feel ashamed and give everybody their money back.
People would donate to you because they think it's funny. So
no, well, yeah, but I wouldn't use my name. I think it would have to be done to like a third-party name and like
Fred Fedorko.
Fred Fedora.
Fred Fedora. There it is.
What a great name.
Well, back to serious news. We should say, and we should mention this because we did have a gentleman's bet, which was for nothing but momentary pride, and when Revelation Online would enter open beta. And now we know that it's heading into open beta on March 6th. 6th? But that's not all. Remember, folks, if you buy a Founders Pack, you can start playing a whole week ahead of time. Oh, actually more, on February 27th. So break out those credit cards so you get the head start. So finally, I really thought we'd get closed beta 4 and 5. That was my guess all along, but nope. We're heading into open beta, which basically means full release.
Yep. Those three rounds of beta, like, I'm curious now, like, how much money do you think they make off the Founders Packs? Because let's be real, like, they bombard your emails. If you sign up to any of these games to get like a regular closed beta key for free, right? And you have a chance of getting a closed beta key, but you usually like get an email saying like, closed beta is here. You know, play now, and you click on it, and the email, it just opens to like, buy a Founders Pack today to play. Like, how much money do you think they make off Founders Packs? on during the closed beta phase because they did
Quite a bit.
restrict those keys because it was not easy to get a closed beta key. When we got our closed beta keys to give away, we were literally like giving out golden tickets to the chocolate factory. It felt that way because everybody wanted a key and we had so few. So they're making probably bank on the founders packs, which is why I think maybe another one of the reasons that they dragged down to 3 rounds of beta testing. But also they did seem to need it as well.
God, they needed 2 more at least, but whatever. I guess hopefully they got their shit together.
But yeah, it's at least
so now we know,
out.
folks.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to trying it when it's open beta. These kind of games I hate committing to in closed beta, knowing I'm gonna get wiped.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna play it in open beta. I didn't play CBT 2 or 3, and open beta is when I'm gonna make my character for realsies.
Yeah, I'll also be playing.
Do we have founders packs, or are we gonna do the regular open beta?
I'll nag them for founders packs, but we might be giving away founders packs as well when the game launches.
Mm-hmm.
Some like post game launch giveaways. So definitely follow us on the Twitters, the YouTube, all the social jazz. All right, follow us on the Bluebird and the Blue.
Could you guys follow us on Instagram, please, so we can grow our Instagram thing?
So then,
yeah,
it's the first Friday of March. We can do Grindfest for this. I'm actually looking
Most
forward
likely.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again when it comes out.
Oh, there's some drama about the founders packs. The 91s got name reservations today, but the $6 ones get name reservations on Thursday.
How many people do you think really need to worry about competing for their names?
I want to be Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I want to be. I need that name.
Yeah, unless you're competing for
Kirito.
some type of I can't even say it. Kirito or Sephiroth. If you're just completely unoriginal and you have to use a major franchise's name or series, I mean, do you really need to care? No one's taking my name, I'll tell you that. I mean, unless
Big
I
Dick
have
Sally?
an fan. Yeah, Big Dick Sally. No one's taking that. Jeez.
You gotta be Naruto 18203, man.
I want to be Light Yamagami. I can't say his last name. Yamagami. Yagami. Thank you.
People are saying, "Oh, Cloud's a very popular one too." Somebody said
Of course it
Megumin,
is.
and Megumin's actually been really popular lately. I've been seeing that name more so after I saw the anime. I'm seeing it in a lot of places now. People gonna steal the Remote. Guaranteed, Remote is gone.
That's your own fault.
I know. My own fault for not ponying up the $90 today. Yeah, I'll nag them. I'll ask for founders packs for all of us for the MMOs.com crew.
Oh baby.
Get that VIP treatment.
That's what I want to hear.
The perks of running an MMO website, guys. We can usually get all the beta accesses, and we usually get closed beta, like founders packs for free. So it's nice. It's a nice touch.
Whoa, where's my founders pack? Give me that.
Oh, yours? I usually ask for 3, and when they give me 3, I redeem mine. And I sell the other 2 on eBay, guys. Come on.
I thought so.
It's good for me, not for you guys.
I like this one. I want to make my username like Purocat says. Naruto Sasuke 420 Puff Puff Smoke. Damn right. That's a popular one.
I love this founders pack perk, the deluxe one. The last perk is the exclusive flying cat mount, and it just looks hilarious.
Oh yeah. It's a fat cat.
It's a really
Yeah. That's a reason to get the founders pack, all right? Right there, just for that.
That's the only reason to get that $90 founders pack.
Man, I'm looking forward to playing this open beta though. I haven't played it since CBT 1. I mean, it's gonna be. I already know it's gonna be a way more pleasant experience because it'll actually be in English this time. I played through the nonsense in the Chinese in the first round of CBT, and it was awful. So I'm glad it's gonna be in English. That's a revelation. That is gonna be another big launch of this year. Probably one of the biggest launches that's on radar. And Blue Legend.
Will it be Elysium Vanilla WoW? I think so.
It still might be Elysium because it got. No, I think this will get more. This will get more.
Like God, I hope so.
Like, that launch day experience when you play and it's mega packed is always like, it's fun. It's an experience. It's not even like just it's an experience, and I kind of want to play on that day. And how much I think it's also a remarkably smart decision. Now we've seen like game companies start embracing this recently, like from their business perspective, not from our perspective, but from a business perspective, to have that early access. Like if you buy a founders pack, you get like access a few days early. Like they make so much money off that. Like that is such a smart move for them. But for us, people that are cheapos that want to play for free, we get a little salty. But like, it's so smart for them to do that because they're gonna make bank on that. But that kind of like monetization, I don't think it's a big deal at all. Like, there's people are talking about controversy potential, what they're gonna sell in the cash shop. We'll talk about that when the game actually launches in the open beta. We see the cash shop as it stands in open beta. But this kind of stuff isn't like at all offensive to me. You want to give people a few days early. I don't care. That just let them get the money because making these games aren't cheap. They gotta make money too, and that form of monetization isn't like unfair in my opinion.
Oh, can I just make a prediction?
Go ahead.
It's going to be a total slinging circus when this game comes out over the cash shop, and we are going to be forced to talk about it.
Oh,
'Cause
definitely.
People have already been dismissing Revolution Online over it, so I'm very excited to once again talk about cash shops and what's going on in them when the game launches.
It's pay to win.
So we'll look forward to that.
That's a fun discussion. I like that discussion. All right, I'm usually a little bit of both. All right, I give developers some slack. All right, people like if you even give a little bit of like advantage, it's pay to win. It's awful. It's Hitler.
It's Hitler.
It's never so clear cut. I understand the perspective of the angry gamer who wants fairness. All right, but you got to give them a little bit. All right, because they got to make some money. Pay to win is a spectrum. I agree. To too many people, it becomes like it's either good or it's unplayable Hitler, right? There's no middle ground for people, it seems. Yeah, guaranteed drama incoming. There's no avoid the drama. But yeah, that's a big launch coming soon. It's relatively soon too. It's like
yeah, I'm excited to play this. This is,
Me too.
We were actually talking earlier, guys, off stream about what games to play for Grind Day, Friday, and I say we get pretty far in Revelation. Why not?
Yeah, why not? I'm game for that too.
We can do that in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit level cap, and all you guys are gonna be like level 10. And I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, man?
Well, we can do it together,
quest gives you
week by
level
week.
10.
We can do it week by week. We don't have to go crazy in 1 week. All right.
Well, I think that about wraps us up for this week, and we can carry this on into the after show, which is where we undress and really show our love to the audience.
Pants are coming off, boys. Pants are coming off.
My pants have been off, but you only see.
All right. To hear any more of the steamy content, you got to be here for Twitch in the afternoon.
Or you gotta pay us. You gotta buy our founders pack for $89.99.
All right, that's it.
All right. We're gonna talk about Kimochi afterwards. For adult crowdfunded. All right, that's the good shit. That's specifically for Twitch. Later, you
See ya, YouTube.
See ya.